Hey guys, welcome. Today we're going to show you how to do a beach themed milestone baby photo. This is going to be our finished product. So first things you want to do, step one, is select a piece of cardboard. Then you're going to take a pen and just draw in your waves. I went with the wave theme. My wife asked me to draw some waves and a surfboard, and I'll be showing you how to do that in the video. You're going to take a X-Acto knife and start cutting into the cardboard. This is my first time trying to do this, so I started cutting into the cardboard while it was part of the box, and I realized that it was a little difficult. So instead I ended up just cutting the whole piece out, and I realized that it was a lot easier to cut while it was sitting on top of the wood. Once I had it on the wood and I had a hard back surface, it was a lot easier to cut. Getting the blade through the cardboard and obviously not cutting with the grooves of it, it made it a little difficult, so I had to retrace over the backside to be able to pop out the little parts of the waves. This was a pretty dull blade as well, so if you look down in the section below, you'll be able to find the link where you can get some new blades. We chose the interior flat paint. This is just basic house paint, and I think this was called Sky Blue. I just used a regular foam brush here and started painting on the waves. And as I was going around, I was able to use the brush strokes to kind of add a little texture into the waves. And I was hoping that it would show up pretty well in the final product, and it did. You can add details here if you wanted to. You could throw some white paint down on the bottom and really get your Bob Ross on. Making the waves cap, it's all in how much creation you want to go into in detail. The cool thing about painting on the cardboard is it was a lot easier to dry. I think I sat it in the sun for about 10 minutes when we were done. So once the waves are done, then I was going to go ahead and start on the surfboard. I took the same box and realized that it was a lot easier to cut without trying to cut it on top of the cardboard box or as part of it first off. Once I had the piece cut out, I was kind of just doing everything by hand. I really didn't measure anything out, and I was just being as creative as possible. Using the same pen that I drove the waves on, I just drew something that I figured looked like a surfboard. And as you'll see on the next step here, when I cut out the surfboard, you don't really have to follow the lines. It's just more of a guide so that I was able to understand of what type of shape I was going for. Eventually you're going to paint over the top of the lines and it won't even show up. And you can add as much detail as you want here. cutting a little wedge at the bottom, and eventually after it's all painted, then you can add in some more detail. Same thing, interior flat paint here. I think we went with the bright white. And same thing, foam brush. I actually used the same brush as I used on the blue. I just wiped it off really well. And so far as the board, I was trying to paint the length of the entire board and see if I could get one full process all the way through so it had a fine grain going all the way up the entire detail. Sat that out in the sun for about 10 minutes and let it dry. And I took a Sharpie and I just started kind of adding in some little finer details into the board. And the Sharpie worked really well on the white paint because it was a flat paint with a matte finish. Just adding a couple of details here and there, some things that make us smile, and you can add whatever you'd like in there. I threw on a Binky Bros label, which is one of the companies that we really enjoy purchasing from, and you can find their link down at the bottom as well. So then we moved on to the actual photo shoot itself. We took just a basic linen background, laid it on the floor, and added in the blocks, which are from Target. My wife cut out some triangles so we could make a sun, and she found this really cool banner that had some anchors on it, and we laid that up in the top corner. After that, we took the waves that were already dry and we added them down on the bottom, and then added in the surfboard as well. I put it at an angle so it looked like he would be right in the waves, and we have the little rhino that we take most of his baby pictures with. And here's the final product. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments below, and add and subscribe and like this video if you like the final shoot. Thanks.